Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Loneliest City podcast. If you have any suggestions or requests, comment down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. In this episode, the guys ramble about life, meaning, and purpose. And shout out to Davis at MultiMediaMadness for sitting in and joining us in this episode. Links to his channel and information will be provided in the video description below. Thanks for listening. How is everyone doing today?
Fantabulous.
You sound pretty
I'm just terrific.
Yeah? What did you just eat? You mentioned you ate something, Scott?
Yeah, no, I was just making some they're handmade like veggie pancakes kind of thing. Where it's like you heat them up in a pan and they're like made with cauliflower and spices on the inside. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
That sounds Korean.
Right.
I don't know. It's from like an Indian market, so probably not. But could be.
Never mind then.
Yeah, you're quite the chef there.
Well, I mean, I put it in a pan. It was already made.
So, what about you guys? How about you, Brittany? How's it going with you?
Things are great. Had a wonderful day. Gotta go from dinner. Patios are opening again, which is great. Love to see it. They opened again on Tuesday, I think, so we're on our way.
Oh, that's good news.
Do you know when like the regular indoor dining will open up again?
I think that might be in the next days, actually, which is coming this week sometime.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not going to change anything for me because I don't ever go to restaurants regardless.
Well, I
don't like sitting by a restaurant by myself.
Yeah, no, really.
Why not?
I at the bar by myself sometimes.
What's wrong with eating a meal by yourself?
Because it makes me look like a loner.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to eat by myself as a loner, I'm going to watch a show or movie in my room or living room instead of sitting in a bar spending extra money.
Sweet Sterling.
Like when you eat at home, nobody judges you, but when you eat at like a restaurant, people are gonna look over and tell everyone else, like their friends, to not become like that person.
No,
you know?
First of all, if you can't spend an evening with yourself, how do you expect someone else to? Okay?
Oh.
It's not the worst thing.
That's kind of
truth bomb. Wow.
He's spending an evening at home by himself. So
I mean, we're all doing it now.
Yeah. It's just now there's no judgment.
I've gone to the theater alone multiple times, famously. I've gone to the theater alone, and I have
theater. Well, yeah, theater's different.
Oh.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because sitting watching a movie in the theater is not bad. Because then, if you're going with someone, you'd be like sitting with yourself and you're just talking with them afterwards. So by yourself, it's different compared to a restaurant where you're like you can hear conversations of other people, or you're sitting at the bar. I don't know. I just feel weird. I don't like going to a bar or a restaurant by myself.
All right, but I do think it matters what time of day you went to the movie theater alone. You're like noon, so it's like
Really? Oh yeah.
I mean, what if you have the day off work and then you wanted to go watch a movie in public and nobody else had the day off? You know?
I can see that.
So,
but I've gone as far as like I'm bringing in my McDonald's.
McDonald's by yourself? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't take somebody to McDonald's.
Yeah.
In the theater, yeah, and like people next to me will watch me sometimes, and I'll kind of get annoyed, but they're kind of judging me. But whatever, I'm enjoying myself.
If you went to McDonald's, did you get the BTS meal? How was it? You didn't get the BTS.
I got it for Selena.
Oh, you did? Selena, how was it? I'm actually kind of curious because I see like all the lineups on like online in like the photos online. I'm like, is it that good? Is it like, like what is it like?
The lost words of how amazing it was.
Can you explain to me what the BTS meal is? I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's like, okay, so BTS, everybody knows it's like the hot Korean boy band, right?
Yeah, their new song Better.
Yeah, something like that. And then so they partnered up with McDonald's to create this hot chicken nugget meal, and now everybody wants to eat the BTS meal because it's a hot BTS meal now. They made the hot Korean boy band made the BTS meal hot.
Okay.
McDonald's.
And people are like selling their packages and like the cups and the bags and
Did you sell it?
everything.
Did you sell it?
Oh, no, I just threw it away. I didn't.
Okay. I would sell
threw
it.
it
I would
away?
totally sell it just to see how much money I can make back. Like maybe I can make my meal back, like the money for my meal back.
No, they said that I got more chicken nuggets, so it was just an average McDonald's package. So
Oh,
if
like how
you
are
get
the
the
sauces?
special one, the 6-piece, then you get the container.
How is the sauce? How are the sauces? Like I think there was like chili or Cajun, right?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
I like chicken nuggets, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. We should somebody should do a react video of eating the BTS meal.
I'm sure there's thousands out there right now.
Oh, there are? Oh, I'm so out of not in loop with the.
So
Everything's
Samuel.
a reaction video.
That's
yeah.
true.
Good.
What's up, Samuel?
Nothing much. How are you, bro?
It is
Oh,
good.
I thought you were a girl from your profile pic, and then I hear a guy's voice, and I'm like, holy shit, what? Who?
Saigon's actually a very, very gorgeous woman, 6 foot, nice thighs. Yes.
Very gorgeous lady color. Yeah.
It's quite funny because you have a nice deep voice.
Yeah, listening to his voice, I'm picturing like a beautiful woman.
Ooh, baby. Goodness.
How do you know he doesn't identify as a woman?
Yeah, exactly.
Or a Batman.
Oh, come on. If I can identify as Batman, and everybody should call me Batman in this podcast, but if I can identify as Batman, Samuel can identify as a woman.
Exactly.
There you go. Go off, Queen. Go off.
Exactly. So, who wants to bring up one of the questions live?
Ooh, do you know what? I thought of something.
Okay.
Just because I actually got mine the other day, so I got my first shot of Pfizer for the vaccine. I wanted to know what people are thinking. What's because I know some people are getting some controversy and because of what's been going on with AstraZeneca and stuff like that. So want to hear what are people's thoughts on whether we should kind of get the vaccine? Is it a good thing, bad thing? Like, do you care about blood clots? Is it something that's actually scary or
I just
what?
have one question. I have one question.
It's pretty sick.
Modern problems require Moderna solution. Pfizer's for fools. All right.
I have one question for Davis. Now that you got the Pfizer vaccine, you ever hear Bill Gates' microchip whispering into your ears the secret coordinates of his hidden treasures? It's a bad joke. I'm sorry. I phrased it wrong.
Christina's just really
some
into
people
Bill
laugh.
Gates.
Some people laugh at it because they're feels so awkward. They laugh, but I messed it up.
I think it's like the conspiracy that there's a microchip that Bill Gates was trying to push into the vaccination. And to answer your question, Sterling, I am happy to have had my vaccine. I got the Moderna probably almost a month ago.
Moderna gang.
Yeah, ding ding. But most of my friends got Pfizer. They're on that team. Or Pfizer, as they say.
I got Moderna too. Go Moderna.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I noticed with the Moderna is that my Wi-Fi signal got better. So.
Oh, wait, 5G? What are you talking here?
My phone already has 5G.
Oh.
Oh, damn. Fancy, eh?
Was anyone here a part of attacking the cell phone towers? Remember that? Was anyone?
Oh, I remember that. But
I wasn't, but my family.
Wasn't Australia on fire at the time?
Oh.
Yeah, I watched
it. It was always on fire.
On that.
Was that a year ago then, or?
Oh, has it? Is it already been
Well,
yeah, I think it's been a year.
Yeah, the Australian wildfires has been over a year because the wildfires were in the very first weeks of 2020.
Oh, wow.
It was the first thing that was the big, everyone, you know how everyone had the memes on 2020 as being the worst year ever? Yeah, the wildfire was the first thing of that entire thing to the point that people forgot about it.
That's like Australia's summer.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
But, okay, so...
I heard Moderna's more of a body high and Pfizer's more heady.
Oh, is that so? Oh,
what does that mean?
Take that into consideration.
Like sativa indica?
Yeah.
It's a weed joke.
Yeah.
Dude, weed.
Yeah, it's a dope joke.
Every day.
Indica is so much better. Sativas mess me up.
Same.
And honestly, I wasn't even gonna even get the vaccine at all because I'm not afraid of COVID because I'm the type of person, even when I get using the flu, I don't get sick very often.
Oh.
And like even when I do, like it's not that big of a deal.
Oh.
But the main reason I decided to actually get it was mostly just for other people, to get society going and to help out.
Bro.
Like it's not a concern for me personally, but it's just, you know what? Fine, if it'll help bring the mask and stuff down and all back to normal, then might as well.
Do you see it as like a social responsibility?
Exactly.
Bro, you're just built different from the rest of us.
Yeah. I'm a champion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably die from COVID.
Yeah. I
Does
feel
anyone
like
here got COVID?
No.
I got COVID for like a day when I got my second Moderna shot. It was whack. Like I had to like stay in bed all day, and like my friend brought me a coffee, and I couldn't taste nothing. So yeah. So they say like this. It's like it gives you, I don't know, Moderna or Pfizer. I think. I guess Moderna. It gives you like a really weak version of COVID. I guess my bro science in the second dose, and like for a day I couldn't get out of bed. I was napping all day. But the second day, the day after that, man, I was riding my 35-kilometer bike. I was gone. I was like, for time.
So you got your second dose already?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So
a lot of people have. Yeah, it's weird.
So that happened on your second dose, not your first dose, right?
No, yeah, the first dose was nothing.
Oh, okay. Because I got my first dose, like, because I live in BC, we're like late behind on the distribution for vaccines. But yeah, I'm actually a bit nervous about my second dose now because of what you said.
Oh no, it's no big deal. Like I have this guy who he sells like weed and stuff too, and he had like some extra doses. So he's like, he just told me like to chill out, take the next day off when he put it in.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You got your second dose from a weed dealer?
Heck
No, I mean,
Stop.
Long keeping an eye out for you, bro. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, you buy everything from some kind of dealer, right? I mean, fell off the back of a truck or something. I don't know, but it worked. I got the stamp.
Are you sure that's COVID
analogy
vaccine?
for life,
Not like random like.
Well, I don't know what it was, but the next day I was out of it. So it was probably the
You got
stuff.
some superpowers?
No, it was like the stuff from the
He
bottom.
injected you with something. That's for
He
sure.
gave me the stuff from the bottom of the vial, not the top. The nice thick stuff at the bottom.
Was it green and yellow?
Did you have to light up on a spoon to kind of like liquidize
No,
it?
it was in the dark. It was a dark room.
Oh.
Did it start as a crystal and then?
New trendy stuff.
Yeah. It was in the dark. I didn't see what it was. It was in a dark room. But let me tell you, it was glowing.
Oh.
Okay, so we're gonna have a new superhero on the loose here one of these days. Look out!
Sounds like radioactive.
Mutant Scott. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be your mutant name?
Oh.
Yeah.
Tox. It'll be a Scott backwards. Just
talk.
Tox.
Oh.
Like toxic. I don't know. Spelled wrong.
Spread color.
It'd probably something like probably something like these nuts related. I don't know. Like sunseed.
Nuts.
I'm a victim of your shenanigans, man. You always get me with them. Man.
I know.
I gotta get you back one of these days.
I love how it's been like 5 years since it's been relevant, but someone got me to, like just a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, yo, yes, I need this.
Dude, don't let it die. Just keep it going, man.
It's still good.
I appreciate your effort.
Man, I dropped that one in a class Discord, and this one like nerdy kid, I don't know, he harassed me one time for months for a PDF of a midterm that he's not even in my class. He just wanted it, and I dropped it in the general chat. He's like, I did it to him in the general chat, and he's just like, yo, I would have thought like since you're almost 30 that you'd be more mature and be sticking to academic subjects. And it's like, bro,
fuck no.
You're not
what a passive aggressive prick, man.
Yeah. Are you in this class? Like I was like, oh dude, sorry, I didn't know you weren't in this class. Like, what are you doing in this Discord anyways? Yeah. So I was like, okay, weird. But there's always one.
Dude, that's annoying. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
I was like also like
right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's like, yo, first of all, do not be disclosing my personal information on a Discord server. But whatever. He's not in my Discord server anymore.
Man, can we just talk about like society and people and how annoying they are?
Well, I did hear a quote today from Slavoj Žižek, which I thought was pretty interesting.
What's that?
Zach, yeah.
Yeah. Happiness is when you almost get what you want.
What?
You know what? You're 100% right, because they actually measured this, and second place medalists in the Olympics rate themselves as feeling worse about themselves than third place winners, because they're comparing themselves to first place.
Yeah. No, and it's just like if you get what you want, then there's like it's a nightmare because you have that expectations of how things are supposed to be, and then it's a whole question of I don't know. There's so many questions that come with it. But when you almost get what you want, there's that little bit that you can blame to somebody else or something, right? Yeah. It's always like so that was pretty interesting.
Speaking of these questions, man, I'm just got more questions like those, kind of like the metaphysical. You know what I'm saying? Questions of life.
Give it to us.
Sounds like a bunch of nerd stuff.
Go off, Queen.
Oh, come on,
perfect.
man.
It's perfect.
Okay.
I love it.
Let's start with the most general question we've all wondered at times and been asked. What is
usually
the
on
meaning
drugs
of life?
The meaning of
42.
life?
Chicken nuggets, cheeseburger, video games.
The BTS meal at McDonald's.
Exactly.
Wait, isn't the meaning of life? Isn't the meaning of life just to make sure you survive for long enough to pass on the genes and keep the
No, it's to make plastic.
You just want to get pregnant, Batman? That's the meaning of life?
No,
okay.
it's like for everything, for every single living thing. They just want to pass on their genes, and the meaning of life for the next generation is to pass on their genes and pass on their genes and pass on until it never ends. You just pass on your genes and make sure the genes.
But what about people who are choosing to not have kids?
I don't know about you, but a pair of jeans last me like 2 years at most.
Yeah.
Hey, I have jeans that I've had since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's is that a Costco pair?
No, they're Levi's. I'm looking at them right now. I wore them today. They just started ripping in the knee.
Never go out of style, right?
The only thing
Levi's, yeah, exactly. Levi's never go out of style.
The only thing I still have from high school is my underwear.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, just gotta keep washing it.
Wait, I'm 230, so those underwear has been around for a long time.
Batman, it's called vintage. Okay, it's called vintage.
Man.
Yeah, it's vintage.
Yeah, it's trendy. Okay.
Yeah.
How did they last so long?
Oh, because whenever I stop, I don't stop too fast, so there's no skid marks.
Oh Jesus.
What?
Okay, I'm gonna give an actual answer to Jesse's question instead of talking about weird underwear.
Thank you.
Nothing weird about it. There's nothing.
Way to stay on topic, man. Man, what a good.
I have my own podcast too, so I'm good at wrangling people in. So, okay, I actually watched a video about this the other day, and it was Ricky Gervais from I don't remember what show it was, but it was basically someone was asking if all what happens is if you live and you die, so what's the point of life? And his answer had something to do with experiences and true love and friendship. The actual answer. So a good way of doing that is that's why I love the saying of work to live, not live to work. So, and that's why you want to have a job. Yes, you need a job to make money, pay your bills and everything, but have money to spend time with your friends and family. Have money to go on vacation, travel, visit, experience as much of the world as you can before you're dead. That is your meaning to life is to embrace knowledge and to learn and grow as an individual, therefore to teach and embrace the feelings and the experiences to other people to therefore grow as a population.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, those are some.
That's a good
That's
point.
good.
Sounds like too much work. I'm just gonna lay in bed all day.
Was it the Ricky Gervais show?
I don't think it was that show. I think it was the British version of The Office.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. That was
Yeah.
like the American counterpart came later.
Yeah. So The Office.
Yeah.
I actually like that response about like how you're supposed to like live a happy life and that's the meaning of life. That's a good response. I like it. I agree.
Hence why the type of career I'm trying. Hence why I'm not getting into like being a welder, for example, because I don't look at money as to own shit.
It
I
is
look
a
at
great
it.
province. I mean, no shame in that, but still, like.
No, I'm just using that as an example, right? For me, I'm in the wrong province, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree with you, but I think for me, the meaning of life is kind of like to do what I can on the planet and to kind of set up the world for the next generations as well. So not to be super just about myself, but also to, learn about other cultures and learn about other people, but to kind of like give back to the earth and give back to the people in the future, because it's actually an intergenerational thing. That's like, there's cultures that build bridges out of trees. Like they have to intertwine the branches to cross rivers. And that takes like generation after generation of planning for the future, basically. And when we plant plants now, or trees now, we're doing that for future generations. So that's kind of what I think.
So I think we're pretty much on the same page.
Yeah, true.
In the same way, yeah.
In a similar way,
a wise hermit sitting in a cave.
Beautiful.
Okay, with a really long pipe.
Yeah.
And a long beard.
And a staff.
Gandalf, basically.
Turned into exactly. He turned into
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Or Dumbledore.
Here's another question: is there life out there, out in space?
Yes.
Yes, 100% yes.
What?
Yes.
No, there isn't. I'm gonna take the opposite position. We're the center. We're the center of the universe.
Are we?
Yeah. Okay, never mind. No one changed my mind.
I've got to agree with Jesse here.
All right.
Yeah, you're right, Jess.
Okay, how about consciousness? What do you think that is? How do we explain or even start to explore and define what this is? Why is it that we have awareness? Like we have greater awareness compared to other living beings in this world?
I don't know. I know some pretty self-unaware people.
Some people are pretty dumb.
Pretty smart, but they're not discussing metaphysical questions as we are.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's just because we're built to like have awareness, like it's evolutionary. Like there was an evolutionary pressure to like be aware, and that like to help us propagate our genes like the old days, and now we're just stuck with awareness, kind of as a side effect of evolution.
I mean, Jesse, I'd be almost more interested in your opinion on that. Like, why do we have consciousness? Because you're more, spirit or like religious, spiritual. So for me, I do believe like it was probably luck. But what do you think?
Well, you guys lean towards the whole randomness, like just the random byproduct of just countless evolutionary things happening. I don't know, but okay, what are the implications of that then? If life truly is just ultimately meaningless and just random.
Well, it's not meaningless.
It could be random. It's meaningful and random.
Oh, actually, yeah. I mean, like, there's no meaning in like having a purpose or anything, aside from like just like what you define as your purpose, and like most people find that having a purpose, like defining their purpose as being like trying to seek happiness is a good enough purpose for them, and that makes them happy but there's not like no pressure to like there's no right or wrong answer to the meaning of
And
life.
like that's how I feel too. I think there's a lot of people in the world though that do think there's a reason why we're like kind of gifted with consciousness. And it is like a gift, you know. We're probably the only species on the planet who can even talk about this stuff. So it is really kind of something. I just don't know, like I could never point to a reason. That's kind of why I feel agnostic about it, because I'm like, well, there could be, but there probably isn't, but like I'll never know, right? So I don't know. I don't know if I'm the right person to answer.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't have necessarily like heaven or hell or anything like that in my religious views, but having I also agree with what Batman, I'll use your term you wanted to say, was saying about like it had to do with, I think it came around originally due to like like starting off with like discovery and fight or flight, and then being able to literally just being able to communicate like where the food is and whatever, and then as things got further, different conversations started growing, and then from those different conversations, different thought patterns and things branched off from there.
And like by design, I mean that product, we're kind of just meant to seek meaning and happiness in the more simpler things closer to nature. I guess like I should be tilling the field right now and raising like 10 kids while half of them die. And then others die from an obscure illness.
Oh, go live your best life, bro. Just go do it right now.
Go be a Hutterite.
Yeah. Let's go to the woods, live off the land.
Oh, okay.
We'll just,
okay.
I don't know. Do you think we have free will? Speaking of consciousness, do you think we're just driven by our desires? Is that even free will? Like, what is free will? Do we have
Big Daddy government controls us all. And since we got the vaccines, now we have like these like chips inside of us that inhibited us from like expressing like free will. So
Free will isn't.
So nothing you just said was free will.
Well, maybe
They're
free
forcing
will.
you to say it.
Right.
Maybe free will isn't like what we assume it is, because like there's also that like, because people when they think of free will, it's like, oh, like it's either like I have have so many options, and like having free will or not means like I'm either able to choose all these options or not. But what if it's like, you ever heard of like the many worlds theory, where like
I was just gonna say that.
Right? Like, it's like you
Multiverse.
can have both free will and no free will, because it's like you don't like the choice that you make is kind of like a random draw, right? Like, does that make sense? 'Cause it's like you don't like you just fall within like the world that you fall in, right? The when you branch off, but you don't really have a choice in which world you branch off into. Like, but you kind of choose that world. It's kind of both, right? Like a free will and no free will.
Yeah, it's so strange.
I'm kind of curious, like, does it make you guys, would it comfort you to know like everything was predetermined, or would you want to think everything is like in your own control?
I don't really care. I don't really care.
If it was predetermined, it's quite terrifying to like the implications of that, you know?
That'd be like time is a flat circle from Matthew McConaughey in True Detective.
I don't think I know that.
No.
No? Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I was thinking when you said Matthew McConaughey, I thought you were going to say Inception, not.
He wasn't in Inception.
That was a good one.
You mean Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah.
Matthew
McConaughey. No.
I mean, sorry, that was Interstellar. Yeah, go ahead.
Interstellar. I was thinking Interstellar. Sorry, that was
No, he was in another show that dealt with some kind of Lovecraftian things, but also some philosophical, whatever that word is,
philosophical.
Ideas. Like how time is a flat circle, and like what has happened will happen again and has happened again. It's just you're just in an infinite loop kind of thing.
Okay.
Same as solipsism, where you might be, you might not be, but there isn't exactly a way to find out. But I know with solipsism, the belief that that you're just a brain in a vat where all your everything you see, smell, touch, hear, and taste is all just electrical impulses. And like if you talk to someone, it's just an electrical impulse, but you're hearing something back. I heard about that one, but that's easily debunked. So I can only imagine that time is a flat circle. Philosophically, probably has been debunked. I don't know.
Well, I like my
I don't
life
know,
how
because
it
I think
is,
even
so
Neil
I don't
deGrasse
mind.
Tyson has talked about stuff like that.
I
What was
like
that,
my
Davis?
life
I
how
said
it is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say even well, I understand your time as a circle theory, or point I should say, because even Neil deGrasse Tyson has even mentioned stuff like that before, and I'm pretty sure Hawking has as well. So there are real, genuine scientists that believe that there's a way to prove it, quote unquote. There's just no way of actually. You have to go faster than the speed of light to be able to experience it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really care about like these superficial things about like, oh, is anything real, or like is time linear or circular? I am happy with the way my life has been turning out so far. And so yeah, like the world can be anything. Doesn't really matter to me because I'm having a great time. And I'm benefiting from the way the world is, so that's all I need to know, because like I like to think of myself as a cow, or a pig, at a farm, and that pig's been well fed its whole life. So like, does it matter that it's gonna get turned into bacon one day? No, because it's being happily fed.
I read a book about this once called Animal Farm, and they do care.
Animal Farm.
Oh, well, I'm the one piggy that doesn't care. Just give me food. Just give me like water.
So
and,
we're
like,
just animals
stuff.
waiting for the slaughterhouse, is what you're saying.
You're gonna be a delicious pot roast. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I don't really
I
care.
wish I
Like,
could.
I just, I want to be a happy pig before I turn into bacon. And like, who cares if I turn into bacon, right? Like,
You're gonna make a lot of people happy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I don't care about the other people. I just want to be a happy pig. I want to be the happy pig.
All right. Well,
let's explore. You sound like you're a bit of a pessimist about life, towards life in general there, sir. Let's hear your elaborations.
You're asking me?
Wait,
me?
Samuel here.
Or who? Oh, sick.
Who are you asking, Batman or Samuel?
Samuel.
Oh.
I wouldn't really say I'm a pessimist towards life.
Okay.
Yeah. You know me, I'm a Christian and a Buddhist, so I kind of just like look at life as
a warrior poet.
Okay.
Yeah.
A nice surprise for me, because it's just kind of I don't know why with people my age it's just hard to run into other fellow Christians. So that was
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I totally get that, dude. It's all good. I'm not like one of those pushy like Christians, Yeah.
You're free flowing Christian.
Yeah, I believe in like good vibes, positive vibes.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, like belief in Canada, and I'm sure most of the Western world has been in decline in this generation. I grew up in a Catholic school system, and my mom at least is Catholic. But man, nothing steered me away from it faster than having to sit in church for class or for lectures. Yeah, no, that just wasn't doing it for me.
I wish I had a church.
Yeah, I feel like back in like the day, like when there wasn't like TV or TikTok or like fun stuff, like church probably was a pretty decent form of entertainment. But like nowadays, there's just so much more. Oh wait! Was that should I have said that?
I mean, there's televangelists and they're super, super famous and wealthy and all that. But Jesse, do you go to a church at all?
I have a small church plant that my parents were kind of working on, but I mean, it's mostly just a family gathering.
Oh, cool.
We just kind of.
That's pretty cool.
Isn't there a Korean church? Or I'm not sure what.
There's plenty of them out there.
Oh,
Bro, did you just assume his nationality?
Yeah, I assumed it after I asked him before.
Right, though. I had to. So, All right, how else can we explore the metaphysical here? What is it?
Well, I'm kind of interested quickly, Samuel. How did you get into Buddhism?
Yeah, how'd you get into that?
Well, I seen the corruption of the church all around me. I seen how it affects the poor and the meek, and I took a religion class in like university, and we like one of our projects was like to pick like a different religion and kind of research it, and I picked Buddhism, and I just kind of fell in love with it and just like the principles that surround it. Yeah.
Me too. Actually, I've studied like a little bit of Buddhism and the history of it, and I meditate and I do more of like the modern day loving kindness kind of stuff as well. But I love the history of it. I actually like the history of Christianity too. Like I do like the Bible stories. I grew up on those, and they're
The history
interesting.
of Christianity is brutal.
Not the Old Testament. I was learning more the New Testament stuff, but you know.
Oh, man.
I kind of agree in that way. Like, if I was to go towards a religion, I think Buddhism would be the closest because I've never studied it or anything like that. But to my knowledge, it's basically just being like, as Brittany were just saying, like calm, spiritual, like and stuff like that. But it's not really like a god per se, but it's just being a nice person type thing, and that's kind of how I am already as is. So. That would be probably the closest religion I would probably lean towards, I think.
It is an interesting faith.
Yeah. Well, Buddhism, there is actually like a more religious side of it as well. So just like, Jesse and Samuel, I'm sure you guys are, I don't know if you're really into the organized Christianity. Are you, Jesse?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. For me, like the Buddhism I like is not the organized, it's like more the philosophical side of things. So Davis, like that's and they have good practices. But then there's an actual like religious side, and they can be like, very homophobic actually, and they have other teachings that are kind of more archaic, I guess, in comparison to now. But
that's such a good word.
See, that to me that kind of reminds it's not really Buddhism, but more like Taoism.
Okay.
Because like with Buddhism, like the ultimate goal is to escape like the mortal plane and go to like reach nirvana, right?
Right. Yeah.
Whereas like Taoism is more about like loving and embracing life and like the now compared to like the later. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. But that's a branch of Buddhism, or?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I'm not very familiar with this faith. I wish I had more to contribute.
No, it's okay.
That's all good.
It is very interesting.
At the end of the day, just be a good person, and that's pretty much
Yeah.
That's the meaning of life. Be a good person.
Yep.
There we go. We found the answer, guys.
Yeah, it's to treat others as you treat yourself.
Yeah. What Bible verse?
As long as you're not trying to. That's the golden rule.
I wouldn't do that because I treat myself like shit. Because #depression. You know what I mean? So.
And if you're wondering, Brittany, you could probably find in the Gospel of Matthew when Jesus was telling the Pharisees what the greatest law of them all was.
Wow, you are wow.
Wow.
I can send it to you later.
Deep cut.
Wow.
Yeah, the golden law.
Wow, that's a deep cut, Jesse.
Good memory.
It's a good memory. Oh, thank you. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about finding particular verses, I can help you. I kind of have a loose
Is there anything else you remember?
Overview.
Was there like anything that you can memorize? Like you seem to have a really good memory.
Oh, I don't really remember the specific chapter and verses. I just kind of remember the general gist of them.
Yeah.
Because I am constantly praying on certain verses.
It's like Matthew 7 verse 12 or some shit. Something like that.
Okay. There you go.
7:12, yeah.
Are you what do you like to read? Are you the King James version only, or ESV, NIV? I assume you probably don't care.
King James is a classic, so I can't just base it off that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys pray? Since we're talking about religion.
Yeah, I pray every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I like meet up with my family and then we like do a little prayer meeting. Yeah.
Batman, I think you have background noise.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's I
That's how
live in a
Robin
house,
down.
and the upstairs tenant who I have no contact with because they live in a separate suite from me. They sometimes like to use the bathroom, and their bathroom is kind of noisy.
no.
So let me just
That's very
try to mute myself.
Oh, that's
Can you hear when they like take a poop?
probably.
No, I could hear when they like flush and because the
Okay.
pipe the insulation in this like house is pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I tend to
But
hear a lot
that's
of
just Vancouver
swishy
though, right?
noises from the
Isn't
pipes.
Vancouver
What?
isn't Vancouver just like that though?
It seems like it, yeah. So yeah, that's it's gonna be fun when the viewers tune into this podcast and they just hear swishy noises around me in the
That's
podcast.
ambiance. It's all good.
Yeah, it's good ambience, man.
Mood setting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can say it's like a special effect to calm people down, like it's like one of those
Nice.
oddly satisfying, sounds.
Huh.
Oh yeah. ASMR, let's go.
Samuel, actually, I'm curious of like we should later like talk some doctrine later. I'm curious of what specific like do you have a specific denomination you kind of associate yourself with or?
It's kind of hard to say because like my father like is Catholic, right? He's like Roman Catholic. And my
Yeah.
mom's like she's a Christian, right?
Hmm.
So I kind of grew up like in both sides of the church, so I kind of like
Oh,
have a unique perspective of like both. As to like what kind of denomination I am, I don't know. That's hard to say. I kind of like formed my own kind of
yeah.
beliefs and following. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Cool. Cool,
But
cool, cool.
what about you?
Me, I guess I'd start off well, I'm still like leaning towards evangelical Baptist.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
recently
always
less
good. Yeah.
so Baptist though. Yeah.
hmm
But,
I would say my mom's more like a Protestant. I do have like a brother-in-law that is like an Evangelion like priest or whatever.
yeah.
And he can like holy crap when he speaks in tongues, like it's fucking crazy, dude. Like
Oh,
it
he's a
sounds
part of
like
the charismatic church.
yeah,
What?
no, yeah. Do you
Oh,
want to hear what he sounds like? This is what he
uh,
sounds like when he's speaking
okay.
in tongues.
What?
All right.
What?
Yeah. I want to hear.
All right.
Okay, sure.
I don't know if you guys got that.
No, I
No.
think
Yeah,
it's
here.
the filter or the yeah, no.
Okay, let me play it again.
I can't hear it.
Nothing's coming in.
Okay,
Is it gonna be a D's nuts joke?
no, give me a sec.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh,
That is squirrel.
no.
So like I'm
That's
actually curious.
it's like
Oh, go
yeah.
ahead, sorry.
No, I was gonna say that's just Donnie from like the Wild Thornberries.
Oh, I'm actually
That's what he
curious.
sounds like. Yeah.
I'm actually curious. Like, do people who speak in tongues, like, are people who speak in tongues able to communicate with other people who speak in tongues, or do they just have their own kind of tongue speak, their own language, each person, and they can't communicate with each other, or like, is it the same language, or like, like different dialects, or?
It's not so much that like everybody like when somebody speaks tongue, it comes from like the Holy Spirit that's like imbued in their body. You know what I mean? That's kind of just whatever it's being transmitted to your mind. It sounds weird, but like everybody has like a different way to speak tongues, and it's not that they can understand each other, but they can understand each other through like the Holy Spirit, like a spiritual like connection.
hmm
It's kind of hard to describe. Actually, true story. I did witness an exorcism in real life, so
What?
that
Oh my god.
yeah, it was
Okay.
crazy.
What?
So I'm
Okay, I
actually
want to hear
thinking.
that. I was actually, I was actually trapped in a room once with
Yeah,
a whole bunch of adults. I was a kid, and there was a whole bunch of adults speaking in tongues in like a dark room, falling
yeah.
over, crying. It was,
It's
yeah,
intense. It's
it
very
was
intense.
very intense to
I
say.
also
Yeah.
I also witnessed an exorcism. It was when my girlfriend moved out. Ex-girlfriend. Hey.
Ay.
I actually do have a bit of opinion when it comes to like the charismatics and like the whole
Yeah.
fruit of the spirit thing. Like personally, I don't really I'd be leaning towards dispensationalism. Like I do genuinely, I take the interpretation of the Bible when it speaks of the fruits, or like the speaking in the tongues. I take that as like they were speaking literal tongues of other regions. Like this is just
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
That's my interpretation of that. Like I don't take it. I mean, I'm sure I don't want to devalue the experiences people are having, but I do not find myself really aligning with what the charismatics have to say about. Sorry, I don't really have an answer.
But it's like, have you ever felt like God or what Jesus like in you kind of thing, Jesse?
I've definitely like experienced like tangible changes to my life. I I used to have a bit of problem with alcohol. I was drinking quite regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't until I started praying more regularly and just like reading scriptures, just meditating on verses and regularly asking God for some help that I kind of just gradually. Also, like my faith it made me more willing to open up and admit my problems to others around me, like my family. So I did, in that sense, I did benefit from having.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, God works in mysterious ways. And like that phrase doesn't really make any sense until you really experience it, you know?
So Davis has been quiet for a while.
Yeah, because I'm keeping quiet on purpose, because if I say something, it's not gonna it will come off in a bad way, and I don't want to come off in a bad way, because I respect everyone to have their own religion, but I don't like talking about religion because it turns into a weird thing sometimes. So I'm just not saying anything.
I have
I'd rather
something
not
to say.
Yeah,
that's totally fine, man. That's totally fine.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you two talk, and I'll leave it as is.
I have something to say. Like, hey, like, you know how people are talking in tongues? Like, you know, the super religious people? Well, how come? Like, I actually have a, like, cool idea. So, since the people who talk in tongues can, like, understand each other, what if, like, if there's another world war that happens in the future, what if we use the people who talk in tongues to like act as spies in different countries, and then and then if they have to meet up, they can talk in tongues, and then like communicate like the secret stuff that people aren't, like, the enemies aren't supposed to know about, and like, you know, you could just have a network of people, religious people who talk in tongues, fighting for like Canada or the US or like England, and like, you know, we can like defeat the Russians that way with religious people. And yeah,
that sounds really sick. Let me introduce you to a movie called Constantine, starring
is
Keanu Reeves.
that actually like the plot
If
of what
any
I
of our
just
listeners
said?
are part of a charismatic movement,
Not,
we don't mean any insult towards you guys. We just
yeah. So Constantine's basically this like priest, kind of like, well, it's Keanu Reeves, and he's like a father, and he goes around like exorcising demons and stuff, and like he's part of like this bigger like organization of like priests and stuff. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
So like, do they spy
It's based off of
against
DC
the
Comics.
Do they spy against the Russians like during a war or something, or like is there a network or like?
No, but it's.
Oh.
I can see it being part of that universe, though.
Oh, yo, Davis,
Yeah.
Davis! I just gave you a new movie idea or like a short film idea. We should totally make that. We can make it funny. We
I'm
can
pretty
make like
sure.
add drama into it. You know, like we can get fake guns and like James Bond suits and stuff, and like we can have like.
I have the guns covered.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of props. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the guns right here. My left and right arms.
You're sick. I feel like Davis is just
22
like
calibers.
I feel like Davis is just like awkwardly being like super quiet because he doesn't know what to say to my idea.
Well, considering he just said, "Oh, I don't really like to speak to religion because it doesn't go well." Actually, I kind of have a question for you, Davis, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have to answer, but have you had like a bad experience with religion, organized or like spirituality at all?
I've had people. Well, because I grew up. Well, like my dad is 100% atheist in the way of like he like when you die you're just in the dirt. That's it. my mom, sister, and I are in the way of, I think, in the way of like you, Brittany, as well, of like agnostic, of like if there's something out there, kind of like if you can 100% prove it to me, then maybe there's something out there. But I've a family friend of ours. She's a hardcore like Catholic or Christian or whatever. Whatever it is, Catholic or Christian or whatever. And she's tried like pushing it on us about like God, be like God is the number one and stuff like that. And I've had people. I don't like it when people try pushing things like that. And not saying any of you are, but so I don't and so I don't like bringing it up because. And I have a friend that is hardcore Catholic, and she tells me about things that God has done for her and everything, and how she believes in everything, and which is perfectly fine, but there are issues that are happening, and she's only relying on God to try to solve them, not other things. Without going into detail, I'm not going to go into detail, but there's things happening that I believe that you can get help from, but she believes that God is going to provide the answer, and I've tried to help her in that way, and it just doesn't go through. So that's why I feel harsh, because it's just annoying. I'm trying to say in the most polite way possible, because again, everyone's allowed to have whatever religion they want, right?
You know what? As a Christian, I hate people like that too. So you're okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and but and then on the other hand too, I have had I've really strongly believed that I've seen a spirit, like a ghost spirit.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
So
bless you.
Oh, thank you.
At his way.
Oh, and Gesundheit for our other viewers. That.
No, sorry. I tried moving out of the way of the mic. It just happened so fast.
But yeah, so that's why I feel like there are some things about religion. There are some things about religions that make sense, like what you were saying before about just treating people like nicely. But there are a lot of things that I just disagree with, and so I try to just stay out of it as much as I can.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of that's a kind of fun topic too about beliefs. Is like, do you believe in ghosts? Or...
Yes.
I haven't really interacted with like an entity, but more like an orb. It was kind of really spooky.
Oh.
I used to like explore like abandoned places as like a kid.
Ooh.
And yeah, I've like definitely experienced like an orb or like some kind of like shadow or some shit like following me in like the same room that we're like in, and like the temperature like dropping, getting like the chills and everything.
Yeah. What do you think they wanted?
Oh.
Like that orb, or like she or him, or I don't know what the pronouns for the orb are or is, but.
What? Okay. So yeah, it sounds like some of you have had some spiritual experiences. That is so.
Yeah.
It's very there's like these entities out there that we can't really like understand. Like some certain phenomena in life, that we just can't really understand or observe or explain with science.
I love science, but I believe there's also like a different plane that science can't explain.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think like once you kind of come to that understanding, your mind kind of like unlocks itself to experience those kind of like things.
Well, exactly. That's why I go by saying I'm agnostic, not atheist, because of things like science can prove a lot of things, but there's also a lot of things in life that it can't prove, right? And like healers, no, I don't no, I don't believe that someone that had to be in a wheelchair is going to go to a healer and they're going to be fine. But there are things like the placebo effect. Like, if someone has, I'm going to use COVID as an example. If someone caught COVID and they got a placebo drug instead and as part of the control, and they still got healed, like, is that due to just the fact of the mental powers of believing, or is it from something external factors? Like, so that's why I think maybe there's other things that kind of influence other than just science and society, right? But yeah.
People really is crazy. There's all these.
I agree with
Super impressive, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm very open to think whatever makes the most sense, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that, Brittany?
I agree with
Exactly why I believe the aliens are definitely true too.
There's a ghost on our podcast.
Oh no, we're haunted.
Call him Spooky, Mr. Spooky.
So to elaborate on that, as I was saying before, so I truly believe that I actually saw a spirit, because, or a ghost, or whatever you want to classify it as, because what it was my girlfriend at the time. Her mother or grandmother passed away, and I never met her once in my life. I never saw any photos or anything like that. I never saw anything what she ever looked like. But then the night of that happened, we were lying in bed and going to sleep, and then basically just before I fell asleep, I saw a figure lean over my girlfriend and like give her a hug and like a kiss goodnight type thing, and then looked over at me and did like a smile, and as if like saying like good night, like miss you type thing. And I recognized the shape, someone leaning right over her type and everything. And then the next day, her dad showed me a picture of his mom, and that is exactly what the figure looked like with the same, like, I didn't necessarily see the exact face, but it was very, very similar, very, very similar shape, hair. Yeah, so I had a full like spirit, and
that's amazing.
So that's what I mean. I don't necessarily. That's where I get in the realm of possibilities of like things could be possible, but like maybe it's just in my mind. So that's why, it's hard to think about, right? But I more lean towards like it did actually happen.
Right, yeah.
That's insane, man.
So when you like Davis and Samuel, when you had these experiences with like paranormal experiences, I guess, were you at all scared at all? Like, did it scare you, or what kind of
I was shitting
feeling did it instill in you?
It was so fucking spooky. Yeah.
Yeah, yours sounded creepy. You said it was an orb, but then you said a shadow, and
it was like constantly in like the side of my like fucking like peripheral view, and like I kept like turning around and trying to like look for it, and then like then the temperature started getting cold and shit like that, and it was just like it's time to get out of here, because something obviously doesn't want us,
Yeah, I think that maybe was what Batman was trying to ask before.
Yeah, like what did it want from like you to do, right?
Yeah, I'd be scared too, honestly. I'd crap myself, but
and that's the difference between our two scenarios too, is that yours was in like more of a abandoned place and everything, where it could have been someone that died by malice or something, right? Where mine was someone that was just passing on and saying goodbye to her grandkids.
Do you think
like a malicious spirit versus a kindred spirit?
Yeah. Do you think the malicious spirit would still be malicious if you like dropped a like unused blunt in that house? Just to.
I think he'd
like it's
want to
as
party
an
it up with us,
offering. What?
I think he'd want to smoke it up with us. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah. Maybe
Like,
he just
as long
wanted
as
a
it's
blunt for
as long as it's indica,
Like Scary Movie 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. That was really funny. I actually tried to watch Scary Movie again the other day, but I found I was like not laughing as much as I did the first time.
Yeah. Honestly, I rewatched 3.5 yesterday, and it was so good.
Okay.
I think it's just.
3.0. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one with Michael Jackson, or like?
Yeah.
That
It's
one
that
was
with
fun.
like the 8 Mile rap scene, and like a bunch of other things. Yeah.
With the KKK.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then where he pees through his finger.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
The guy's mouth.
He
Yeah.
sucks on it. The guy's like sucking on it.
Yeah, and then he kicks him in the nuts because that's how they say goodbye.
Oh my god, that one was
Wait,
funny.
I gotta look this
What
up.
if aliens were like that though?
Pigs through nuts.
Yeah. Like.
They pee through
How's
their
it
finger.
going? Man. Yeah.
Yeah. I recommend that movie, Jesse. It's pretty funny.
It still holds up. It's an old Kevin Hart. Like I love how Kevin Hart's like so small he just gets tossed off every time he does the
Yeah.
chest bump with what's the guy that actor's name?
Oh yeah.
Well, the guy's name of the character is named Mahalik or whatever.
Yeah.
The guy from
And they
Kendrick.
always
I
go
wanted to see Shrek 2 or something, or The Room.
Shrek 2.
Yeah, those ones are good.
We still gotta figure out a day to do that.
I've never seen The Room, but I know it's a cult classic, and it's something I would watch just because it's funny. But
That is
Same.
Oh,
that was why I voted for it.
Sorry, they have a screen. Same with me. They have a screening of The Room every year at the Garneau Theater.
Every month.
Yeah.
Every month.
And
Every month.
Every month.
What else?
Yeah.
Rocky Picture.
Yeah, Rocky Horror Picture.
Rocky Horror
I
Picture
went to
Show.
that one actually. I went to that one.
Oh. Is it true they throw spoons and stuff
Yeah,
at certain
yeah.
scenes?
Mm-hmm.
Or there's
What
a
is that
spoon
about?
on scene, and there's a spoon on like a framed picture of a spoon, which is
Yeah.
throughout the background of the thing. Everyone just yells "spoons" and starts
Yeah.
throwing spoons everywhere.
Yeah, and
I don't
actually
know.
the best thing about the Garneau is that they sell you a little baggie of all the things that you need because they want it to be interactive. So everyone in the theater is like throwing spoons and doing all of that.
That sounds
so
amazing.
funny.
Ooh.
That sounds absolutely fun.
I've only been in the Garneau once, and that was to see an improv show with Colin, the guy from one of the guys from
Whose line is it anyway?
Whose Line Is It Anyway? Yeah, he was
Oh my
one
God,
of
I
the.
love him.
Yeah, he was. That was the only time I've ever been in the Garneau.
Him and Ryan
yeah.
Stiles.
There once.
No, it wasn't Ryan. It was just Colin. It was Colin and like other people, like I think local Edmonton group or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.